When performing significance tests, we hope that our conclusions are accurate, but sometimes they are not. There are two ways to be incorrect when drawing conclusions to significance tests: by option 1, rejecting the null hypothesis when it is in fact true, and that's considered to be a type 1 error. The second method of being incorrect is failing to reject the null hypothesis when the alternative hypothesis is true, and that's considered to be a type 2 error. Type 2 errors come more into play once we learn how to carry out the significance tests in the next topic. The probability of a type 1 error occurring is the same as the probability of rejecting the null hypothesis when it is true, which is also the significance level of the test. In other words, the significance level alpha is the probability that the test rejects the null hypothesis when it is actually true. Let's try an example with type 1 and type 2 errors. Suppose a pharmaceutical company has developed a new drug to lower blood pressure. They conducted a randomized controlled trial on 500 patients with high blood pressure, in which 250 patients were given the new drug and 250 patients, the other half, were given a placebo. The company wants to determine whether the new drug is significantly better than the placebo in reducing blood pressure levels. The null hypothesis is that the new drug is no better than the placebo, and the alternative hypothesis is that the new drug is better than the placebo. Determine the type 1 and type 2 errors and explain the consequences of each. Let's get started. Well, a type 1 error occurs when the null hypothesis is rejected, and the null hypothesis is that the new drug is no better than the placebo. So the consequences of a type 1 error is that the pharmaceutical company may market the new drug as effective when it is not. Patients may be exposed to a drug that does not have any real benefit, which could lead to unnecessary side effects or even harm. A type 2 error is failing to reject the null hypothesis when the alternative hypothesis is true. In other words, the new drug is better than the placebo. The consequences of a type 2 error is that the pharmaceutical company may not market the new drug as effective when it actually is, and patients may miss out on a drug that could have helped them, and the company may miss out on potential profits. It's also worth noting in the explanation that in this scenario, the consequences of a type 1 error are more severe, as patients may be harmed by taking a drug that does not have any real benefit. Therefore, it is important to keep the significance level low and conduct further studies to ensure the accuracy of the results.